Hello and welcome back to the NGS Storm Division. Tonight we've got the Fool's Gambit versus ReGen. I am the Crushinator and I'm going to be your host. I am not alone tonight. I'm here with Taco. How you doing tonight, Taco?
Hey Crush, it's great to be here. I also have my co-caster Darian here tonight, who is not going to last very long, but I'm epically ready for this Grandmaster Master showdown here in Storm Division with ReGen and the Fool's Gambit. It's such an honor to be here. Thank you for having me.
Glad you're here. Glad you're ready to take in some excellent heroes of the storm. Teams are about ready to go here. Looks like the draft's about to start, so I'm going to rail through these map bans real quick. Tomb of the Spider Queen, Sky Temple, Braxis Holdout, and Alterac Pass were banned out for this series. Fool's Gambit did win the flip and chose first pick, which means ReGen is going to be taking us to Dragonshire for map number 1. And we are right into this draft. Dragonshire, I just checked the stats today. Key, one of our community members, puts out a lovely bunch of stats every week. And Dragonshire, I believe, is the most played map here in Storm Division so far.
I had a lovely bunch of coconuts joke in there, and then I lost it. Yeah, so Dragonshire is a really cool map. I think every match that I've cast, or co-cast rather, with Storm Division has gone to Dragonshire, but I think a 5-game match has every map picked or banned, so that might be part of it. But Dragonshire seems to be a popular.
If it goes to the 5th, there's only one that's left off, because we go through the 9 maps.
Oh, okay, yeah. And Sky Temple's on the list, which isn't on the regular NGS.
Correct.
Rotation.
So for Storm Division, due to CCL removing the Volskaya Foundry map from their pool, in Storm Division we matched that and replaced it with Sky Temple. So that's why we saw it on the ban list for this series.
Gotcha, that makes sense. So back to the Dragonshire topic at hand. It's been very popular with these Storm Division games, and I would love to see some great macro with a strong team fight presence. We were talking before we got here that it's really hard to team fight on this map, so I'd love to see some play around here. Falstad really strong right now, and a very smart ban, I think, from the region on the rotations. Hogger's just dominant in that top lane, and Malfurion with the Sleepy Roots, I think, is the second winner of the patch behind Falstad, and then Brightwing, of course, with those rotations.
Absolutely. We got some global bans coming out here from ReGen, some bans from newly touched heroes. If you've been following the Falstad drama, the Dishonorable Discharge was initially banned for a bug, then it was unbanned, then it was banned again for a separate bug. So Falstad's fine, just not the W talent on 1, unfortunately. And our first pick, which is becoming sort of an ever-present hero in games in almost all divisions, Sonya, picked up here by Epic Player.
Yeah, she's a big bully in the lanes. Stukov a good counter for her, though, and Chromie going to... I like the Chromie pick. Chromie's really strong even after the nurse. Crush, I know we're in the middle of the draft, but if I can address the elephant in the room, I don't think I've ever seen your face before.
My face has been much hidden for a long time. I made a snap decision that my beard was scraggly and dry, and I wanted to reset it. So here I am, all barefaced and stubbly.
There you go, at Studley indeed. Did you say Stubbly or Studley? I heard Studley.
I'm gonna go with Studley because that sounds even better. We've
There
got a
you go.
Diablo Medivh here. That is a nasty looking comp here from the Fool's Gambit. That's gonna be very, very mobile with some big, bulky, high damage heroes.
Yeah, and sorry about that. I'm now watching the stream to see if I completely jacked up my green screen on that move.
Looking good. Looking good.
Yeah, okay. So the Diablo Medivh definitely delivery package. Medivh is almost, I think, an almost 100% interaction in Storm Division.
Medivh is, one of the top banned. Does get, I think they've got 8 or 9 games of Medivh actually getting through the draft, and then something like 30 bans or something for old Medivh there. So a lot of interaction on the utility hero. Altheol Uther.
I like
Pretty
the
potent
Uther
combination here.
Yeah, I'm waiting. I mean, obviously we're gonna get it now, but I'm curious about the the kill condition for the Fool's Gambit. Because Medivh can be kind of high output, but
So Sonya with the W build puts out a surprising amount of damage, but I'm interested to see what Flyest Raven does pick up here to try to bring the noise. It's going to be the Lunara, actually. Lunara puts out a lot of numbers. Like, there's not quite the same kill pressure, but you don't need kill pressure from that position when you've got Diablo Sonya. So just splashing around that Lunara damage into an Uther seems like a pretty good idea.
Yeah, here comes the Tracer out of Marlowe. It was being talked about in the lobby a little bit. Apparently Marlowe, a really big Tracer player. And sorry about sorry about all the distraction of me on the cam. I need to change my headset in a second. So
no worries, we'll get that sorted out.
But I am definitely interested in kind of what chat thinks about this draft that we've got going here. And I don't think Fool's Gambit has the pressure they need, but it's control point, so maybe they don't need it. And Crush, I'm also definitely interested to know what you think about the draft.
It's two drafts that have the potential to go long in these fights, so it's really just going to be who can outlast the other one, because we've got the double support Uther Stukov on one side, we've got the double sort of pseudo support Deckard Medivh on the other. It's going to be very interesting to see how these two stack up on such a rotation-heavy map as Dragonshire. But we don't have to wonder for too much longer. We're going to get right into it here. On the left in the blue, we have the Fool's Gambit, Flyest Raven on the Medivh. Epic Player going to be playing Sonya, Kubiko on the Deckard, Luna on that Lunara, and BBW Hashmer on the Diablo.
And over here on the side of ReGen, SSK Cattle on the Uther Ox Casket. Is that who you just said was ReGen?
5.
Did I? No, Fool's Gambit on the left, here, ReGen on the right.
I'm so sorry.
I didn't mess that up, did I? Oh,
no, I think I did. CC Porky on the Malthiel, SSK Cattle on the Uther, Sim Hosty on Chromie, OXJ Kaskin on the Sukov, and Marlowe on the Tracer. I'm so sorry about that. Again, my headset's driving me crazy. Give me just a second.
We gotta make sure I introduce everyone properly as the teams are scrapping here in the early going. Lunara putting some damage onto the Tracer there, just looking for that quick clear here in the mid. Porky gonna go ahead and try to get some quick damage onto an early low souls Diablo. But Medivh is going to enable that rotation down to the bottom lane. Chromie with a good positioning there to throw a little bit of damage onto the side of ReGen. Looks like we've got a chase up on the top side. CC Porky getting pushed out a little bit by Luna and Epic Player as well as Marlowe. So the team's all over the map here so far.
Yeah, really interesting that both teams kind of opted for sort of a 2v2, even if it started out not that way, it just kind of devolved into a 2v2 chase. Still leaving the bottom lane even. I'd like to see these camps get picked up a little early, and all of my audio problems have been fixed, and I should be good for the next 5 games.
Fantastic.
We're still at the beginning of this one.
Like
Sorry about that.
All good, all good. It's like our teams are going to go ahead and start up those siege camps. Cattle looking to poke in on the edge here. Just keeping an eye on things. But it looks like ReGen will be a little bit faster on the camp clear. That will allow them to rotate out and get back to this map pressure. Looking at the top lane here. Looks like Marlowe going to go ahead and visit, try to get a quick kill onto this Sonya. There's the pulse bomb. Not quite enough. The melee hitting the wall. And Epic Player is going to survive here. But ReGen is going to control that top lane. Great stun onto Hashmer, though, in the bottom lane. Diablo could be in all sorts of trouble here. The Protected coming on out is going to save Diablo for now.
Yeah, that really is the power of Medivh. Diablo is going to go way, way down, but Medivh coming in with the save and then able to get Lunar to put some damage onto the rest of ReGen. While it is healed back up, Lunar is really hard for Uther to deal with over an extended fight.
Absolutely. We've got Fool's Gambit actually 3v4ing right now.
I thought Malthiel was going over for a camp steal, but he was just checking to make sure Sonya wasn't doing it. Saw Sonya back in the lane, decided not to.
Right now, ReGen controlling all 3 points. Lunara going to try to ward away the Tracer here, actually forcing out a recall from Marlowe. But here comes Cattle. Luna could be in trouble. She's going to try to escape through this top portal. That portal moving back to the mid. Medivh coming in with the save. Marlowe going to have to limp on out of there.
And Medivh portals with while still in Raven is such a strong talent, and I'm just not good enough to do it. I feel like I want them so quickly in a lot of situations that I don't want to take the time to place 2.
Steve coming on up to the top lane. Porky could be in trouble here. Nice rotation by Flyest Raven. Epic player managing to survive for now. Oh no, but Marlowe comes in.
Call Marlowe the janitor. Just cleaned up.
Luna going to come on in and harass Marlowe once again. So far, Lunara has been fairly safe in the early going, though I feel once Tracer starts to scale into that late game, that may not be the case anymore, but that'll be an interesting matchup to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we're going to see a lot of that, where Malthael and Last Rites maybe won't quite get the kill. Tracer's going to come in and just take care of it. Chromie really strong with the artillery though, so that's going to soften up the field for a lot. But ReGen really holding on to these points, although it looks like they're going to have a hard time getting the dragon with the Medivh. But again, this 4v almost 5v3 is just cleared out, safety danced up by Medivh.
Marlowe getting forced back in the mid once again here, but Fool's Gambit managed to take their bruiser camp. That's going to help provide a little bit of pressure in that top lane. Epic player has been the target of some ganks here. We see Marlowe floating on the edge once again, looking for an opportunity to move on to the Sonya. Oh no, Marlowe may now have been caught. That's Tracer going down here. Nice pickup there by Luna and Flyest Raven. So ReGen going to control all 3 points again, but without the Tracer. We'll have to see whether they can hold them.
Really pushed in here on his own fort, and Medivh coming up to help out the Sonya. And that bruiser camp just really pushed in on Porky. Sonya doing a great job with the harass, but now Porky at the advantage, but Medivh still there, keeping a watchful eye over the Sonya, gonna take care of her. Sonya's gonna be able to take this point back, but Stukov's coming up. Nice heal, and this is a complete re-engage back on Sonya, and Sonya's lucky that Malthael doesn't have rights yet.
Epic player trying to duel here, misses the spear, gonna have to move on back. Flyest Raven, oh no, is actually taken out.
Gets the reset on the Medivh, and I wish I had checked the stacks right before. I don't know. Oh, you had the talent. You have the talents at 24 stacks on the Medivh at the reset. Roughly.
Very nice pickup there from ReGen. That's going to be very important as we move into the mid game. That Medivh is not going to be firing out those arcane rifts at empowered rate and increased or decreased cooldown, I should say. Luna trying to skirt away from that slowing sands. It's PBW Hashmer trying to juke and jive their way on out of there. There's Chromie.
Malthael forcing Sonya to come and try to interrupt. No, Malthael gets the first Dragon Knight of the game and a nice kick away to the spin to win. And looks like we're just going to try to get this mid-fort or mid-structure progress anyway early on. Both teams level 10. Heroics are online. And a nice kick again, getting rid of the Sonya.
Dragon just sieging up mid here. 4 members from the Fool's Gambit in on the defense. That's going to leave 3 in the bottom lane for ReGen to take out this wall. PBW Hashmer actually taking some damage there in the bottom lane. But the wall and the well are down. Uh-oh, we've got a possible re-engage here. The big sleep from Deckard is going to land. APOC coming on out as well is going to re-stun the Uther. Diablo actually time-stopped by the Chromie as Stukov has to get a Divine Shield to get out of there. Diablo taken out by the Last Rites.
But he had his souls, so he's going to be back. This still could be a 5v5, but it is baby Diablo. And I have something that I would like to just point out real quick from the end of that dragon, the expert play on the Lunara, getting targeted with that kick, leaping strike to the other side, and then back to be positioned the way she wanted to and not getting kicked. So any Lunara players out there that are trying to get better, that's it right there.
Getting those unstoppable frames with that leaping strike, a big part of her kit. Medivh trying to portal forward to make something happen. Stun is going to land onto the Stukov here. But Marlowe is chasing out Medivh once again. Flyest Raven could be in trouble. Gets reset on that quest once again. Epic player with the leap into the backline is going to get the counter kill onto the Malthael. Uther hit with the tip of that Deckard root. But Hosty is back with full mana and full health, and that is going to be it for Sonya. ReGen comes roaring back. Gets the 2-for-1, and they're going to keep up the siege here in the bottom lane.
Yeah, that looked like a really rough first kill for ReGen, and they ended up paying for it with Malthael. And at that point, it seemed like it was just kind of going to fall off. But they were able to stick to it, get some Uther and the Stukov heals, and they're just right back in with the pressure.
This Uther Stukov double support combination is just so hard to break here. There's a lot of control over on the side. Oh, I say that as Hosty gets targeted there by the leaping strikes once again. Flyest Draven trying to land that leyline seal, does not get onto the back line. BBW Hashmer forces out the Divine Shield once again. Two are going to get hit by the sleep from Deckard. Timeout is used by Chromius. Hosty trying to get away here. I think Chromie is out. Look at that. Just the reactions from ReGen are amazing here.
Yeah, quick shout out to Jinxie Cat with the raid of 19 coming in for some Storm Division action. Yeah, the APOC leyline on top of the Uther, forcing out the Divine Shield, and then I think that fight just couldn't go in favor of ReGen anymore, and the Fool's Gambit had control over it. There were no kills, but they forced out a lot of escape, a lot of survivability, and while they don't have the point now, made ReGen have to regroup.
Epic player chasing down Marlowe here, but Tracer with those blinks is going to survive. While all that fight was happening, Porky came back up and started double soaking, so we're seeing quite the XP advantage over on the side of ReGen right there. Epic player going to use the leap to convert the kill.
Sonya just screaming in Porky's face.
There's
a nice massive shove. And time trap on the Medivh. Medivh's still going to be able to make the portal. Sonya coming in from the side. No leap though, no engage. It's going to go back. And Tracer running in on the Medivh. A good protect though. Going to prevent a good chunk of damage. Medivh's still at half. I think that was, no, that was not Divine Shield on the Chromie. But a stasis. There's the Divine Shield. Going to get Chromie out. Beautiful save. And the Dragon's Breath might take out, no, Diablo with the Protal coming out of the Medivh. That's how you know it was a good one.
Man. So far in 5v5s, it seems like ReGen has the superior sustain. The picks that have been coming through, though, from the Fool's Gambit have been strong. Last rights onto Epic player is going to land. There's the APOC in the mid, though, actually going to catch three, and Deckard roots them all. Can ReGen recover here? CC Porky being chased out by Lunara, but the stun...
Malthael almost dead to the fake damage, but grabbing the potion just in time. Malthael gonna get this dragon a second time. Oh,
does it seem unfair that you can click on portals while silenced? I know it doesn't make any sense, but being silenced wouldn't allow you to click on it, but nope, you can click on stuff.
There's a lot of things unfair about Medivh. He even has a talent called Medivh Cheats.
I think if they just change the name of that talent, people feel a lot better about the hero. What do you think?
What, to Medivh's broken ban me, please?
Yeah. we just change the language.
It's like,
and then we get what we need.
Oh, you thought you had this, boss? Is that There's so many things you could call that talent. And all of them are toxic, Crush.
Absolutely. ReGen going to go ahead and march this dragon up to the top side, looking to get a little bit of help up here. Looks like they thought they weren't going to get any pressure onto a keep. Dragon Knight is a little bit low on time, now down to 15 seconds here. So they're just going to get a little bit of value in the top lane. Dragon got to be a little bit careful here. Does manage to back off. Now just sieging up in the top lane.
Sorry, lots of fake children in the background running around telling me that they're a dog. It's like, I know you're a dog. Thank you.
Dog's got to let you know.
So I'm actually kind of... So the lane looks... Or not the lane, the map looks really strong for ReGen. I kind of wish they could have used that dragon a little bit more, gotten either a wall down in mid, or gotten at least that well up top. I feel like that second half of the...
here. Ooh. Nice and unstoppable.
That second half of the dragon just kind of felt wasted.
They're in a little bit of a tough situation, I think, versus the Medivh. If they move too far onto the Fool's Gambit side of the map, Medivh will just blink over the back and take a tilted team fight there. I think that's what they're considering when they're looking at where they want to send that dragon, where they want to post up. Because if you get too close to that keep wall, all of a sudden portals are coming out where you didn't expect them.
And that's a really good point. And that makes a lot of sense. So going for that fort, even if they couldn't push into it very well, makes a lot more sense now. Level 16s are online. Medivh about to have ley lines for days.
Absolutely. Flystraven is just looking, just waiting for an opportunity here. Malthiel actually getting jumped on by Lunara there in the mid. Porky can't attach the Reaper's Mark. Pops the Unstoppable again here, but we've got the full engage. Moves on down and grabs that D shield.
Yeah, going
the
back
Fool's Gambit
in.
could be in trouble here.
Sony with the jump. Oh,
the leap is
leap
enough.
over the Malthiel. Beautiful ley line, though. Medivh just saving that, or not saving that fight, putting a nice pause on it. Take a second breath. But Luna goes down, or Lunara rather. Is that Luna on Lunara?
Yeah, it is.
Goes down. But not without Uther following, so a good trade. ReGen capitalizing on losing 2, going 2 for 2 instead, grabbing Diablo's souls, and maybe even a little bit more. The chase is on. Tracer putting that jumpsuit back on. Is gonna back. Ooh, a good route for Deckard, but the
Medivh
portal
going
taken.
down in the back. Tracer
Medivh
takes out Medivh again, resetting that level 1 quest.
I don't think that gets stacked anymore. I think it's done for the game.
It's gotta be. I mean, maybe if things go extremely well, you just happen to get it post 20. But yeah, I mean, at this point, trying to get 40 more hits at, the 14-minute mark doesn't seem realistic.
No, not at all. They're I mean, they'd have to be clumped as 5, and he still has to get through 8 rotations of it, like in an ideal world. So I just, caster math to count to 40, right? And so, because what is a cast without some caster math?
Absolutely.
All right,
ReGen is they're pretty in control here. Once again, they're starting to move on up to the top side. They've got they're about to have their level 19s here. The Dragon going to go ahead and work on this fort. And they're just taking this game very, very slowly right now. Luna moving into the back line, gets the hit onto Hosty. They're forcing the Dragon to back up again. Kubiko going to be kicked over to the middle lane, but the Dragon is going to expire here. Will we see a leap? No, Epic Player is not going to commit to that one. But right now, I think it looks like ReGen is just playing for 20 and trying to pick up a couple kills before they start pushing onto these forts. Or pushing onto these keeps, I should say.
Yeah, that level 20 advantage would be really big, and that also gives me this great opportunity to ask you, Crush. You're in the Fool's Gambit's shoes. What how are you adjusting? What are you thinking right now? Other than let's pick this Uther and get the Divine Shield out.
I mean, they're just looking to find a way to bait ReGen out onto the map. We've got a huge combo here, going to land onto 5. Cattle's going to go down first. We're going to see that Ghost of Uther trying to heal people up. Marlowe picking off the Lunara on the outside. Flystraven gets hit with the last rites. Hashmer going to go down, trying to control the point. Medivh is going to fall down. Kubiko, an Epic Player, going to fall next.
And that's a mega kill. Pop those mega kills in the chat. ReGen going in for the finish. Now, I honestly thought that fight was 100% the Fool's Gambit. When they got that combo off, they had half of the team at half. The Uther was dead. The way that turned around, I honestly don't quite understand. The beautiful ley line, the leap following it up, the Deckard sleep with the APOC, just everything was perfect on the engage, and it was their last fight before ReGen gets 20. I thought
it was
they
the
set
right
it up
fight
really
to take.
well.
I think that was the right fight to take. You try to find the fight before 20 hits. Unfortunately, getting the Uther first was a blessing and a curse. We're still dealing out that armor, keeping everyone alive for just long enough. They get the mega kill, and they go for the core. Well done. ReGen picking up the first point. GG.
Yeah, really well played by ReGen. Absolute map control all over the place. Just not... I don't even think they... I know they didn't lose a fort. I don't know that they lost so much as... they lost their top health fountain. I can see that one. So, just complete structural domination there. But the fights looked way closer than the map looks. And so I'm interested in how the Fool's Gambit will come back and reassess. I think from a fighting capability, from a... Even with this draft, like I thought the heroes could do it. I thought they played the fights well. I'm not sure where that went south for them. So I'm interested to see if they take that let's force these fights against ReGen into the next game, or if they go for a completely different type of strategy.
It'll be interesting to see. I like the combination coming on out. We saw the kills that were converted by the Fool's Gambit there were when they basically were able to global somebody. They found Malthael in the off lane, used the leap to get the kill, or using the leap to confirm before the final saving cooldowns could come out and find a kill. But once everyone was up and moving on the side of ReGen, nobody was going down. The Uther armor going around, the Stukov bio kill switches popping off. Just so much defensive power coming on out for ReGen, and it worked out well for him.
Yeah, it was clean. It was very clean. I don't think they took any unnecessary deaths either, except maybe the one on... Well, no, the one on Tracer was down bot in the middle of a team fight. I don't think they had any real caught-out deaths. Porky might have died a lot, but that's, you know,
that's the life of the offlaner, right? Especially you're going against a Medivh, like it's gonna happen. But able to keep it enough, or keep it, you know, keep up the XP enough is what I'm trying to say.
I'm also interested in this Diablo build. I like the spell shield for the Chromie, for the Tracer blow up. But I'm surprised that if you go W at 4 and 7, why you wouldn't take it at 13. For the spell power, it gives you a lot of extra healing. Makes a lot of your kit that much stronger. And I get the armor is nice, but the extra healing when you're getting all those W's is, I think, a really strong part of those early W talents.
Mm-hmm. It's a tough one, just because, like, in fights that tend to go long, the regen from that W talent should work out. But I don't know, like the kill targets that get called in Storm Division, they happen so fast that maybe they value the armor just for those specific circumstances more. That's the only thing that I can figure here. But we've got our next lobby up and running. Let's update the maps here. We're going to be going to Garden of Terror for game number 2. Chose this map. Looks like Fool's Gambit. Excellent. Oh, we almost got you into the game, Taco.
I know. I tried so hard. I tried. Did you like my Did you like my my reporter voice there?
It was excellent. Excellent stuff. All right, looks like our teams are raring and ready to go. We're going to jump into Garden of Terror here. I say it every time, but I sure wish when you hit the start game button, it gave you an actual in-game cooldown. You know where some games where you've got it and they put the number on the button that shows you when the actual game's going to start?
Yeah, instead of just waiting in limbo, especially after last week.
3 to 6 seconds.
Oh, especially after last week, that was horrible with lobbies.
Oh, with the lobbies breaking on the weekend? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what could have possibly happened on a Saturday, but they seem to have fixed it, so that's good for us.
I think we decided that the last dev said I'm out. 6.5 out of 10. Turns out that wasn't for gameplay, that was for the game itself.
Came in on a Saturday.
Yeah. Oh, hi, kitty cat.
So it is going to be Garden of Terror here. Lost Vikings, somewhat predictably, going to be the first ban here from ReGen. It being a gigantic map and all. And yeah, Lucio going to be banned out by the Fool's Gambit.
I thought ReGen played Vikings, though, and having first pick... I don't know. I'm confused. I'd like to see the Vikings played. I'd like to see a clinic of it. Lucio, I hate Lucio. So you know, I support that ban.
Falstad once again taken off the board here, as well as Chromie. Chromie did some pretty good work in that last game. Just I think one of the undervalued parts of Chromie is how many saves she can provide herself. With timeout and just artful use of time traps, and I think that was a big standout there in game number 1.
When I was learning Chromie, I guess still learning Chromie because I haven't figured this part out, I'm really good about using 2 of her abilities, and my time traps, like, that's the hardest, to me that's the hardest part about learning her, is when to use them, how to use them, where to put them, how to catch the enemy without catching your teammates. The Hogger is a bold slip. That's
a big one.
That's
Fool's
spicy.
Gambit picking up the Hogger on one of the heaviest camp maps in the rotation.
Garden of Camps.
Garden of Camps, indeed. Alongside the Stukov there, but switching up the double support here on the side of ReGen. We've got the Uther again. We've got the Brightwing this time. And it's going to be a Sylvanas for Marlowe this time.
Yeah, I'm interested in the Sylvanas play. She's really strong here. The camp pressure is good, but depending on how the rest of the comps are drafted, I don't know that she necessarily wants Mercenary Queen, because being able to rotate and blow up a wave with the not Possession, the other one, the that makes Black Arrows
the
explode.
Unstable Poison, something like
Yeah, Unstable Poison. That can go. You can press 2 buttons, wave is gone, and you can get back to your team, and you still have the pressure.
Yeah. I think the way I've seen Sylvanas played a lot in these big maps in this style is you jump on a wall for as long as they'll let you. If it's 2 seconds, if it's 10 seconds, you just get the most out of every little bit of chip damage you can, and then you bounce on out of there. So you pair it with something like a Greymane or a Sonya, and you just go slam a wall and then just get on out of there.
And I think that's also a very good point, is something that we see at this higher level of play is where the every little bit of structure, each wall, each tower is so important. And a lot of times you'll see the first tower to go down is the winner of the game. Like it's that important, and that's kind of how the game is paced. But back to this draft past Sylvanas, Greymane and Anubarak getting picked up so they can do some isolations.
Anubarak is an interesting one. I like it as a response to the double healer to be able to take one of them out of the fight for a time. But that Li Ming response is the perfect response. You take the Disintegration Beam and Cocoon immediately evaporates.
Yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't, in response to the Li Ming, I wouldn't be surprised if Anubarak holds his level 10 and then maybe even goes Beetles, just full Beetle build. Because with the seeds there into a 5-man, that's a lot of healing. I'm also curious if that Zeratul is a target ban.
It could be. I mean, it's a good roaming map. Thrall, the last pick here for Luna. Interesting comp here from the Fool's Gambit. I mean, they're able to cover off their lanes. Greymane can either help with the camps while Hogger does the lane, or Hogger can do the camps while Greymane covers the lane. Thrall can handle a lane here. I guess they're just looking for the stun root blow-up power with that silence over on the side of the Fool's Gambit. Meanwhile, over on the side of ReGen, it looks just kind of like a push comp. Like, they've got the Sylvanas Li Ming for Siege, Blaze to try to help with the saves alongside the Uther Brightwing. I'm not quite seeing how ReGen is going to end up actually locking down any kills, or if they even intend to.
Well, I was just saying I would like to make a request, and I don't think I have a good way to do that. But the request is mind control.
The battle begins shortly.
Could very well be. That's a good front to back CC.
Oh yeah, I think mind control wins the fights here.
We'll have
especially
to see,
with the laser.
Let's introduce our teams once again here for game number 2. On the left in the blue is the Fool's Gambit. Flyest Raven on the Greymane Epic Player. On the Hogger, Luna playing the Thrall. BBW Hashmer on the Anubarak, and Kubiko is on the Stukov.
And over here that makes sense because of that. So over here in the red trunks, Cascon on the Brightwing, Porky on Blaze, Marlowe rocking the Sylvanas, Cattle on the Uther, and over here AFK in the base, just chilling out, waiting on a Li Ming, Sim Hosty.
Get back to the action just as soon as we can. Bring it back to us just for the pause screen.
Let's
Rogers
all go to
Re
the
has been
lobby.
called. Don't I know
What?
it? That's
Rogers Re.
That's some Canadian telecom problems. Rogers is about to buy another telecommunications company here in Canada, because that's what we need, is more consolidation in our internet provider market, as it's worked out so well for the US.
Well, if for I guess so if like AT&T just bought all of the internet companies and said, monopoly rules, whatever. But if AT&T bought all of the internet, then they would be everywhere, and you wouldn't have to deal with things like Comcast or Suddenlink.
So? We tried that with Bell in Canada, and it didn't work so well. Turns out having one company in control of everything, they don't exactly consider the betterment of the people.
I am not a representative of AT&T, nor do I work for them, and also, frankly, I don't like them, but their internet's good today, so.
When it works, it works.
Yeah, just, gotta make sure I'm not, that's not an actual plug. It was an example for the conversation.
Absolutely.
Li Ming, where are you? So,
we'll get back into the action as soon as we get Posty back online here. But yeah, taking a look at the comps. The Blaze is kind of an interesting one. We often see Blaze as a response to something like a Malthael. But even with the, obviously you've got the bunker as an available save. I guess the front-to-back stun in such a frontline heavy comp, you've got the Stukov in melee range, the closest thing that the Fool's Gambit have to a ranged hero is Greymane, who is, pseudo-ranged at best. So I guess that's where the Blaze is coming from? Any thoughts on that?
I think the bunker is really strong. I think they also have Divine Shield for that. I wouldn't be surprised to see Combustion. The Hogger and Anubrak can leave the Combustion, which then kind of isolates the rest of the team, if that makes sense.
It could be.
But I think if we get My Dreams and we get a Mind Control, I think having the CC out of Combustion and maybe even a Divine Storm instead of a Divine Shield, but then that kind of gets rid of both of those responses.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to have the one. You've got to have some kind of save up there.
But they don't. Their only execute. The only execute on the Fool's Gambit is go for the throat. So, if I'm drafting this, and there's Blaze in there, so I never would, into that team, I don't understand bunker drop as a player, so I'm going Combustion. I'm also, not a fan of Divine Shield as a player. So I'm going Divine Storm. I'm also not a fan of Disintegrate, but I'm going Disintegrate.
I mean, the way I'm figuring is if you were going to go for a Combustion Divine Storm, you've got to go with something like an Orphea instead of Li Ming, right? You're just going full Wombo time.
Well, then you go Leoric instead of Blaze. I think. That's my opinion. But the Combustion's still really good for that. You get those extra stuns out of the jet propulsion. We are back.
3, 2,
Game is underway here. We're back. We are an observer,
Porky
so we can't even
reps.
talk to him. But we're here. It's all good.
So if I say no, does it magically repause?
I would. You know what? Wouldn't that be nice? Marlowe going to get stunned out here. Double stun from Anubrak along with the silence, but Marlowe able to move on back there. Elias Draven actually able to move on up and get a ton of slash damage in.
Ooh, a nice stun onto Greymane. Yeah.
Ooh, CC Porky was going for it. Going to be counter-rooted for the trouble. And look at all the stuns in control. Elias Draven got to be careful, though, as the poison damage or the curse damage, depending on how thematic you want to be from Sylvanas, starting to creep into that back line.
And
but,
she did go Overwhelming Affliction. And the Overwhelming Affliction makes sense with how frontliney the Fool's Gambit is. How I don't know. I'm torn on it. I was talking to Tetcher a few days ago about Sylvanas and her level 1s, and he made a really good point about the Affliction being strong into a solo frontline team, because then you just melt them down with your percentage damage, and then they have no frontline. Whereas while you have the percentage damage for these 3 bruisers, it's still going to take time to wear through. And so you probably want to go for the Greymane instead.
Makes sense. Yeah. I like that analysis. Garden of Camps is now fully underway. We've got the Fool's Gambit working on their second and third camps, splitting Greymane up to that top side. Luna could be in possible trouble here. There's Marlowe and Cattle are starting to rotate. Luna actually committing. The Polymorph is going to come out as well as the stun. I don't think Thrall's making it out of here. Good Feral Spirit, but it's not quite enough. Great body blocks. First blood goes to ReGen.
Body blocking is the strongest form of CC in this game.
It is very effective if you can wiggle around and stay in front there. And we saw it in full display, to be sure.
And I think the biggest a testament to that statement is body blocking is the only CC that Deathwing's susceptible to.
That's true.
Timeouts aren't really CC. That's magic.
The stasis,
arcane
yeah.
crap.
Magic doesn't count in this game.
Right. Looks at Li Ming.
Looks like Hosty is going to get over here for one interrupt, actually taking a huge chunk out of Hashmer there.
But that's a dangerous spot. Oh, here comes the Porky with the kid. No, it hits just in time of the oil.
Cattle's getting low. Flyest Raven was able to survive there, but Porky with a triple stun on that jet propulsion.
Yeah,
Luther goes down, Flyest Raven does not.
Not quite able to get the revenge kill on the Greymane, so I think a well-deserved first seed for the Fool's Gambit. They got harassed, they stayed in, they got a kill in exchange, but now they have a Bruiser camp pushing in. That Flyest Raven is trying the flight that, nope, hip language isn't working for me
Trying
today.
their flyest. Yeah, it's close.
Making the flyest attempt at clearing this Bruiser camp. That's what I was trying to say.
Hosty poking in on the edges here with Flyest Raven's got to watch out for that Banshee's Curse. That damage really starts to add up, and one Li Ming combo, and that could be it for Greymane.
Yeah.
And that seed is starting to spawn, though.
Yeah, whatever the kids are saying on the TikTok today, this second seed is actually in a pretty good position. I know it's a neutral spot, but it's a long rotation for the Hogger, who I think is going to be more impactful in these early fights than Blaze. And the Fool's Gambit's just all right here. Now, Li Ming's
trying to wait for Luna to come on out there.
Yeah, Li Ming's in a great position to delay, but ain't nothing happening. Ain't no thing but a thing. You ever cast the game? Oh, there's the Thrall pick and dead. Nice execution, great patience, and that's the type of patience I really like to see out of these higher division teams. You ever cast a game and you're just like, please, somebody kill someone. Come on. We're 10 minutes in and there's no first blood. Do something.
I have seen I have cast some teams that are both very defensive and macro minded. I think I think it was B last season where I really got the very conservative gameplay set. Doesn't happen a whole lot, but it does happen now and again. Looks like the Fool's Gambit are going to continue to contest here. Thrall is back and ready to rock. Let's see if Cascon can get this channel.
A nice seed in turn for ReGen, evening it up, and kind of relieving pressure for ReGen too. So if they need to forego this next seed, depending on positioning for it, they can play the map. But it looks like they're looking for a fight right here. They've got Calamity online, and it's an even fight.
Tens are pretty soon here for ReGen. They've got Blaze doing some double soaking right now, while Hogger's actually stealing the bottom right siege camp.
Right next to the seed too, so he needs to be careful. I think he gets it pretty quick, but depending on when ReGen...
Oh, Luna is getting exploded in the mid. Full Li Ming combo off the jet propulsion. Hosting.
And in the top lane, Greymane about to go down too. He starts to jump in and gets stunned by the Uther. There's the Divine
It's the Storm!
Oh, but it's a bunker drop.
It's bunker and Storm. Okay.
But we get it. Crush, we get it. We get mind control.
It is a mind control picked up here by Marlowe. The Black Arrows are on the top fort. Augur does manage to grab that camp to proxy the bottom wave, and is just going to go ahead and start up the camp cycle all over again.
Yeah,
ReGen,
like,
big pressure in the top lane.
Yeah, a lot of pressure. That fort's almost down. ReGen taking the advantage, the numbers advantage to go ahead and get the seed. Thrall is going to get that interrupt just in time. I think Fool's Gambit didn't want to commit until they knew that one or two were staying top. And they gave them time to get
from the Thrall. Hosty trying to get over the wall, but Li Ming is going to go down. Bunker falling as well. He's unstoppable there by Porky. Brightwing going to come on in to help. Marlowe missing the mind control in the back. Look at that jet propulsion. Porky just hitting the entirety of Fool's Gambit with every E-cast. But a nice stun into the corner. Can Porky stay alive? No, Blaze is down. Luna in trouble there.
And seed number 2 does go over to the Fool's Gambit in the middle of that. The tank doing exactly what he's supposed to do, getting the objective and not with his team. Now comes down to the bottom lane to help push this fort.
Putting some damage onto this wall is the Fool's Gambit.
Is this the momentum swing they needed for this game?
It's possible, and the macro has been on ReGen's side so far. The global from Brightwing has been very effective in keeping that XP high over for ReGen. Right now, Hogger's been doing a great job with the camps. That's been going really well. But the Fool's Gambit, I think with this comp and with the way the lane pressure has been going, more fights is going to benefit them in the long term.
Yeah. I think that mind control landing changes that fight drastically.
Absolutely, yeah.
I mean, that's kind of the thing with skill shot ults, right? The pressure on Li Ming also was really, really. Sentence structure just failed me there, but it was really good pressure on Li Ming. It was done good. And,
it was completed goodly. I agree.
Yeah, exactly. More betterer. And then I don't know if you saw, but as she tried to blink over the wall,
Epic player might have this channel. I don't think ReGen gets here in time. No.
Oh, no,
the
they
Sundering
don't.
inside the silence. That's a huge problem. Mind controlled coming out to try to save Blaze. Manages to drop the bunker.
He's still dead,
gets
though.
put in the cocoon.
13.
Porky's gonna fall. Great save attempts from. Oh no, the stun is gonna land onto Cascon. Manages to blink away, but is it enough?
That is a rough clear for ReGen.
Epic player all over the backline. Marlowe moving out. Uther taken down in the backline, and the Fool's Gambit all of a sudden bringing on a heap of pressure. They get the double kill along with the objective.
Yeah, the Sunder on top of that silence was the great initiation they needed going into this, and ReGen now is up 1 seed to 0, but way down in structures. Obviously, as a result of this very PvE-oriented objective push, and so now completely on the back foot. This is the first time that they've been trailing in XP.
Keeping the pressure on in the top lane here. The first turn-in on Garden of Terror is generally the most impactful one that you'll have in the game.
Yeah,
Not
everything
only
else
because it takes so long to get it, and to get a second one, that the scaling on the objective on this map in particular just isn't the same as some of our other maps.
Yeah, and there's a lot to recover from to make it to even get to the other objectives or make them useful. Porky getting out with about a third health, but no, not quite getting out. Here comes evasion from the Brightwing and the unstoppable from Neuro whatever Globe Quest, but follow-up stuns is going to stop the Porky from getting out. Brightwing running to safety. Uther also trying to flee. There's the Divine Storm.
Look at the
they
turn.
might be able to turn this
Stukov
and get
down.
the Stukov, and we're about to have a pause as the Hogger has disconnected. No,
Quite
there's
the
a
fight there.
I appreciate waiting for that fight to kind of dissipate for the pause. I think also maybe ReGen, out of respect, saw the disconnect, knew that there was about to be a pause, and didn't want to basically not be aiming by continuing the fight with the disconnect. And I'm actually gonna watch the stream real quick to see if that is what indeed was happening. But ReGen really has a lot to come back from, a lot to clear out. They'll be busy till the next seed comes up without even ever looking at an enemy hero.
Porky on the Blaze did a really good job of surviving for long enough to get the rest of the team there. And they almost turned that fight before the Fool's Gambit just stepped on the accelerator and blew up the Blaze and moved in on Uther. Cattle also staying alive for quite a long time. Getting that counter kill onto Stukov was a huge deal. Because if Uther goes down instead of Stukov there, that's going to be keeps for sure. But instead, it's just a 1-for-1.
Yeah, I'm surprised Brightwing got out. And looking at that replay, so to speak, because of the stream delay, it looked like the fight was over at about the same time Hogger DC'd. So maybe it was just intuition. Yeah, the Fool's Gambit just running over ReGen right now. I mean, kill count is 6-5, which isn't a huge discrepancy, but the ability to capitalize on it and move forward has been really again, sentence structure has been really stronger from why is this language so hard? My name's Taco. Cut me a break. They've been capitalizing much better on these kills, and so that's what we're seeing. Is you see a third seed, you see trading kills there, but still way ahead. Although actually, ReGen took XP lead back, but barely.
Their macro has been very, very good here. And this is really crunch time for the Fool's Gambit. They've got their first round of terrors. This is the point in the game where they're gonna have the biggest lead. So if ReGen opens up the door at all and gives up a couple kills, then they could be in trouble here. But just given how this map tends to go, ReGen can kind of just sit back and macro and let the waves come to them. And since they have all of their keeps, the pressure in the lanes will be pretty minimal. And they definitely have a path back into this game.
Yeah, having that seed advantage again is going to help. That gives them a little bit of breathing room. It gives them a head start into the next set. And I think I just want to see a mind control hit a Stukov and Li Ming just lay waste.
I mean, we saw the power of the Li Ming combo there in the mid lane, not even with the mind control, just off of a blaze stun.
Oh, on the Thrall as Thrall came up? Yeah.
So that's, I found the win condition in these fights that I was a little bit worried about there in the opening draft. So it's going to be up to the Fool's Gambit to keep an eye on where Li Ming is throughout this map, because that gank pressure is really, really high.
Yeah, definitely a much scarier pick coming out of ReGen now that we're looking at it. I thought the Anubarak with the feral Wolfie boy, and also
feral
the
Wolf
other
Thrall, yeah.
And the other Wolfie boy, I thought those following up Beetle Boy would be a really strong engage. And then Stukov there to shove with massive shove now, but swipe or shove and silence people off was going to cause a problem for the front line. But that's not really what's happening. I think it looks like ReGen is Nubarak may be going in, but ReGen is in kind of a clustered engage, and almost like the damage isn't focused. But I mean, it's Li Ming and Sylvanas. The damage won't be completely focused. I don't know. The fights feel disjointed. Looking at
a little bit. I mean, so far the Fool's Gambit have definitely had the initiative on finding fights in most situations. We saw ReGen get a couple of picks in the early game, especially around that one, the seed that they did pick up there. But since then, they've been really strong on the macro, and the Fool's Gambit has been looking for the ganks, and they've found them. They found the fights that they wanted, and they've converted. That's what's got them into this position so far. Looks like our players could be ready. All right, we should be getting back into the game.
They are?
We've stalled for long enough. Let's get going.
All right. Whew, power of stalling. I have some more ideas in the tank if we need to do this again.
Cattle gonna go ahead and boost on out of there with that well met on 13. Every time he hits a Hammer of Justice, gets a little bit of extra speed, which is pretty important into this chase style coming in from the Fool's Gambit.
Crush, have we talked about these level 10s yet?
We talked a little bit about the Divine
Mind
Storm
control?
in the bunker. He's talked about the mind control.
I trust you.
We mentioned a blink heal happening to save the Brightwing, and obviously the disintegrate on the mind control. So we've covered regions, but do we
saw the-
know what they took on Fool's Gambit?
I mean, we saw those big Sunder plays coming on out there from the Thrall into the Silence Zone. It is Cursed Bullet for Greymane, so still working on that front line. No big dives into the back. It looks like we may have an invade from ReGen here. Epic player could be in trouble. Cattle coming around the outside is going to get the first stun. There's the combo. Mind control is out. I think we found our kill combo there, Taco.
Yeah, that mind control plus hi, I have a team. So the rest
Porky
of that,
can
so
get one.
we did get the cocoon out of Anubarak, which he took after the disintegrate got picked. So that's kind of I don't know, that's an interesting play there. I like the shove on Stukov, and I think Hortipult's really good for that positioning on the Hogger. Especially with the build he went. I'm thinking the other build, but still bones to you get extra meat. I think overall Hortipult is generally stronger, but Sunder feels good. Sunder Ring. Wait, which one?
Shockwave.
Shockwave. Right.
Sundering.
There's only 2 abilities in the game that have the same name.
High control does land onto Thrall. Follow-up stun is good. There's the Uther's
Beautiful.
lockdown, and that's it for Thrall.
Exactly.
Oh, Marlowe,
what we
where
were
are you
talking
going? Unstoppable onto the back line. Is Sylvanas going to be saved by Cascon? Turn around with another combo, and that's going to be Hogger going down here. I'm not sure Marlowe intended to actually follow that Banshee wave, but it ends up working out for another kill there for ReGen. Keck W has been called in the chat.
Luna very confused about what happened.
It did look like an extra long teleport, I will say that. I'm thinking that was about as max range as you could get off of that Banshee wave.
Yeah, it has a little bit of expiring frame because it has to dissipate fully, but that's like I definitely understand the out of that. But the
It's like
follow the
ReGen
second
picking up another point here.
the re-engage for that second kill was pretty big too. Just complete lockdown. I can't even see all the abilities that are going off. Everyone's pressing their buttons at the same time. It's like, did it work? Did I do it, Dad?
And that's going to happen like once 20s come along, and I'm assuming the mind control upgrade is picked up.
Oh,
that's going to be happening
absolutely.
even more often here for ReGen, and that's a big problem for the Fool's Gambit.
If we don't get the mind control upgrade, I'm quitting HOTS forever.
I mean, is there anything else for Sylvanas to take?
Bolt is
okay.
good.
Bolt's good.
I'm not actually quitting HOTS forever. Because Bolt is strong. But she already has Might of the Banshee, Will of the Forsaken, rather, which is going to be her escape. But
I think it's got to be
building.
the upgraded ult. It brings it in line with stuff like jet propulsion, stuff like disintegration beam, just all the cooldowns that you want for your kill combo.
If she took Arrow, I would go Will of the Forsaken and Bolt of the Storm. But with Mind Control, you
Mind
just
control
gotta
lands on the
upgrade it.
Thrall.
And just
that's
dead
it for
again.
Thrall.
Just instantly deleted, and that's going to be the fight over to ReGen. Brightwing not even there for the fight, and they're going to chase some kills real quick before capping, and this is going to be the 3rd seed. This top keep in danger already from this Bruiser camp and a Capitult. That's what they're called, right?
Throwing in the catapult. I tried to say it wrong and I said it right. Oh my goodness. The Fool's Gambit coming on in here, looking for an advance onto Marlowe. Stun onto 2, actually. Bunker's going to be dropped, and there's the Cocoon as well onto the Li Ming this time. Going to be quickly popped out. I don't know if Porky's trying to make it out of here. The Invisible Friends turning off some of those autos, but I think ReGen's starting to turn this thing around. The full Divine Storm lands. Greymane's going to fall. Hashmer, oh no, couldn't get over the terrain. Anubarak is stuck in this cubbyhole. Not quite body blocked, but the Mirror Ball lands. That's 2 kills. That's 3 kills. And ReGen with the objective as well. I think they're looking to end this game.
Yeah, I do get to keep playing HOTS. And big silence coming out from...
We're still invulnerable, by the way. Oh, Luna going to be taken out there by Hosty.
Yeah, I don't know where that silence came from. But it doesn't really matter. That's the keep. Objectives
That's
pushing.
Brightwing 16. That's Hush taken by Brightwing.
Oh, thank you. Brightwing looking for murder and entrails, and this is more entertaining than the core going down, and I honestly hope ReGen stops working on the core while Brightwing kills Hogger. Because Brightwing, please kill Hogger. I think the world needs it right now. The world needs this. No, GG over to ReGen. Game number 2. And setting up the Fool's Gambit for a reverse sweep.
Absolutely, the Fool's Gambit. They were in this position just this past series. They went down 0-2 to One Direction. Then they came back with another 2 wins and threatened a game number 5. So they've, I want to say they've been here before.
I believe ReGen's last match also went to game 5 with reverse sweep potential.
Right,
that is to say, not quite a reverse sweep, but it was a good game. Oh, it was a hell of a game. So I think we're in for a treat for the rest of these 3 games because I like casting.
Yeah. Well, let's hope for it. Let's see if we can get it. Quick look at the leaderboard there. I mean, the Fool's Gambit came out swinging. They had a great start, but I mean, that's just kind of the way Garden of Terror tends to go. If you don't get keeps with that first wave, it's pretty tough to get them later unless you get some spoils off a big team fight.
Yeah, and the ReGen comeback was also just off of one set of objectives, and they just push so hard, and if you don't have the clear for it, you can't defend. You can't defend well. So
it's hard. Absolutely.
I just redeemed my own posture check.
We are at the end of game number 2 here. We'll take a quick look at the talents, see if there's anything particularly standing out as we get
bunker
ready
improvement.
for our next lobby.
We got a bunker improvement. Talrasha, never been a fan of Talrasha's elements. But then again, I don't like the disintegrate upgrades, so I guess it makes sense. Again,
I mean, with the way those kills were going, having an extra slow on that beam was probably not going to contribute too much.
Yeah, the only other thing I would have liked to see, having given the talent setup, is maybe invisible frenzying the entire team and just like sitting out in the open somewhere, and then suddenly you're divine stormed and collapsed on.
Possibly, yeah.
But that's just Brightwing tricks. I don't know that we got a whole lot of value out of the Hortipult, unfortunately, for the Fool's Gambit. The shoves, I didn't see any big shoves. I mean, they don't need to be huge to get value. Crush, you're going to play this time?
I'm working on it. I'm seeing if they'll let me in there.
Right, they keep trying to...
We do have Battlefield of Eternity as our 3rd map. That's going to be chosen by the Fool's Gambit. They've set me as captain of ReGen.
Yes, let's do it.
Yes.
you should.
Finally.
You did show it. Did you? Yeah. Yeah. Show screen real quick. Go. That's funny. Like I said, these Grandmaster players have such a good sense of humor. Good. Just good. And they have. It's such a nice environment.
Yeah.
Not even playing with these guys because we're not, but we're watching them play. We're watching them interact. They're interacting with us. These what are we? Both gold, right? Are you?
Yep. Rocking the gold
ready.
3 now. I've been falling. Almost
I hit
at my
plat
35
this
wins
season,
though.
And now I'm in gold 2.
It happens.
I was in silver.
It happens out there.
I was in silver recently.
It's been quite a long time since I've dipped down to silver, but I don't exactly play a ton of Storm League either, so it's not like I've given myself the opportunity.
Honestly, I think playing in NGS has made it harder for me to do well in Storm League because my first team broke me of that Storm League mentality that I have to do everything and my team, and not counting on my team to be there. And now I expect my team to be there.
Yeah, so, that's not how you can't do that in Storm League. You got to take the I can do everything heroes. That's the way to go about it.
Anything you can do, I'll do for you, right?
Gul'dan only. That's how
I was thinking Ragnaros.
Rag can do it too.
Yeah.
We are into our Battlefield of Eternity draft here. It's going to be the Chromie and the Medivh for the opening bands. Pretty standard stuff. Battlefield of Eternity, at least through the qualifiers when I was casting for Storm Division, is a famously high kill count map. We'll have to see if
what else is there to do?
That's the thing, right? Like, there's not exactly a ton of macro to do. I mean, you've got some camps. That's kind of nice. Other than that, it's just brawl time.
Yeah, so speaking of heroes we've just talked about, I would think, it kind of, and it's not going to happen, but I'd like to see a Ragnaros here to make it a one-lane map for one of the teams. And
possibly. I mean, we saw some Ragnaros changes to the Q build in the last patch. I don't know if it's enough to make Ragnaros survivable into teams that are this coordinated, but I'd be interested to see someone give it a shot.
Yeah. So I think Ragnaros is a really strong bruiser in the 4-man. Like you just said. I know they buffed the Q build. I know the W build's strong in the 4-man as well, because you can stack it well, you can get some value, but Blast Wave's the way to go. You get slows off of Blast Wave. You can mobilize your tank off of Blast Wave. It's just it's such, and so especially in the 4-man, it's so much better. I would love to see Rag make his way into the 4-man. But speaking of heroes that have been picked, Uther Tracer coming in again, and Hogger this time going over to ReGen, and the Li Ming swapping sides as well, going over to the Fool's Gambit, and Lucio showing his face again. I hate Lucio. Have I said that already? Have I mentioned that? I mean,
you look at all 5 heroes that are showing right now, and these are brawling heroes. Lucio, Li Ming, moving around the map, fighting wherever they want to fight. Tracer, the ultimate roaming character. Cattle going to redeem the Uther for the 3rd game in a row here. Hogger's always down to brawl. I think we're going to have ourselves quite a fight on our hands here.
Yeah, I like the Malfurion ban. I think the Hogger and the Tracer and the Uther are really good setup, or can use a good setup from the Malfurion with the Root and then the Sleepy Time, Diablo, because this is more than likely tank Uther again. So the Diablo ban, although Tracer and Hogger are hard to catch with Diablo, Uther, you want the Uther to be the one to get caught by Diablo. So actually, I don't know that. I think if I'm ReGen, I want them to take Diablo into this comp. So I'm curious as to what else they have.
Could be. It depends on what kind of damage they're looking to follow up this Tracer with. Because Tracer does, like, it does an okay amount of damage into Diablo, but has to be in Shadow Charge range to do it. So if they're hoping for some kind of slow mage alongside this, then Diablo would just be kind of unkillable. Mal'Ganis here for Hashmer.
Yeah, that's true. Lucio's mobility. I like the Mal'Ganis.
Very cool. And the first time we get to see D.Va in this series as well. A lot of new heroes here. Tyrande, Zul, Jhin coming on in for ReGen.
Yeah. So, Crush, you've gotten me interested, and I wish I could message them. Is it Hashmer or Washmer?
If it's the same player, I'm almost sure it is. It used to be BBW, Call Me.
Oh, okay.
So that's why I think it's BBW Hashmer.
Okay. Yeah, well, because the way that I was reading it, when I said it out loud, I was like, no, that's stupid. Hammer, though. Start what?
So we've got a Hammer.
Fool's Gambit taking a 2-tank comp with the D.Va.
These are some interesting, like, we're talking about brawls, we're talking about, we've got to kind of protect the Hammer coming out from the Fool's Gambit here, but we've got some fairly long distance engage from ReGen in the Hogger Tyrande.
I'm about to play chat under the under the stream delay. Is that bad? Is that rude?
All right. Well, they will know soon enough.
Yeah.
Let's get into it. Game number 3. Looking to make their way back into this on the left in the blue. We have the Fool's Gambit with BBW Hashmer on the Mal'Ganis. Luna going to be playing the Sergeant Hammer. Kubiko on the Lucio. Epic Player on the D.Va. And Flyest Raven on the Li Ming.
And over here in the red corner, Sim Hosty on Axe Boy, OXG Casket on Tyrande, Marlowe on the Tracer, SSK Cattle on the Uther, and CC Porky rocking the Hogger. And look at this start. This is not what I expected to see.
Team's going through the mid here, making sure there's no funny business onto a wall, and we're just going to go straight into the fight. Ashmer getting the quick stun onto Hosty, being pushed back a little bit there. Mal'Ganis trying to find a sleep. Will find so onto Zul'jin. Epic player reducing that damage. Uh-oh, Epic player getting popped out of that mech. The chase is going to continue here. Tyrande stun onto 2. Look at that. D.Va falling. Kubiko somehow escapes. I'm not sure how Tracer didn't actually get that damage to lock in. I guess there must have been... Maybe that was the Lucio cooldown keeping their health stable there.
Lucio skating away there. Is that what that is? The Zul'jin, though, getting put low early on and then not going down with that recklessness level 1 already has 5 of his 30 stacks required for U1 Axe, which is between 25 and 30 auto attacks. Well, but from 25 to 29 technically.
In the first 30 seconds of the game, that's some pretty good stacking going on here for Hosty.
So really kind of in addition to losing the D.Va, giving Zul'jin early stacks, just not something you want to do. So Fool's Gambit taking a lot of risks. Also, Uther is about a third of the way stacked on his Devotion quest, or Silver Touch quest.
Hammer starting to push onto the wall here in the top lane. Lucio and Mal'Ganis bringing up that Hammer. Cascon going to get the stun there. I'm assuming Hammer's going to go with that Unstoppable on level 4. Just does not have that available just yet here, so Tyrande's going to get some free stuns.
Yeah, now catch me up on my Hammer. The Unstoppable is only in siege mode, right? Otherwise it's just armor?
I believe you're right. I think you have to be in siege and then activate your trait. It's been a long time, but I think that's how that goes.
Because who plays Hammer? So...
I'll have to read the talent. I'm assuming it's going to be the I'll read the talent when it comes up here.
I was going to look it up, look at it when it comes up so you don't have to clutter the screen. But this move onto the siege camp, really awkward having all the action in the top side, but Zul'jin getting the benefit of these early fights more than anybody else.
Absolutely.
All right, level 4s are online. And I do agree we're probably getting, there is siege tactics. Using Neo Steel plating in siege mode grants Unstoppable for 2 seconds.
Mal'Ganis taken out. So there you just saw it. Luna pops that Unstoppable and avoids the stun from Tyrande. But we're moving into our first objective phase here as Marlowe's chasing out Flyest Raven. Uh-oh, could be out of cooldowns there. The Holy Shock is almost enough.
Ooh, a nice stun from the Tyrande, who is on that Lunar Blaze quest. And so yes, if Hammer leaves siege mode before the Unstoppable is over, she loses the Unstoppable.
Now, that Lunar Blaze quest from Tyrande, does the target have to be stunned, or do you just have to hit the E?
Hitting a hero with Lunar Flare.
Okay, so the stun doesn't matter, so they can still farm hits onto Hammer all day.
Yeah, but that's a very good question. I wasn't quite sure, because some do say stun by, but I think I've seen those tick anyway. So I don't know.
ReGen moving up to try to pressure this objective. Hosty on the outside. Throwing out them axes as Hogger spinning to win all over that point.
Yeah, the Fool's Gambit.
Yeah, they're just putting up a defense here, but it's not being very effective so far.
Yeah, they were mostly at half health, but D.Va using that interesting level 1 liquid cooling to get the healing well wherever she wants at a reduced cooldown. So really big in on this objective phase, but ReGen trying to be careful, trying to get the damage that they can without getting caught out because Hosty looking really fragile. Nice set of Qs coming out of Hashmer. I almost said Washmer and felt dumb. But not quite getting the stun on Zul'jin. Zul'jin retreating over to his Immortal. There is the Devotion quest done for Uther. That's going to be big for these team fights. And Luna getting out with 200 health.
Maybe not for long. Marlowe on the chase. Lucio going to go down as well. And this comp from ReGen is just chasing all over the place. Ming going to fall as well. Almost got those magic missiles onto Marlowe.
Marlowe is looking really low for sure. No HP left either. Tracer's such a fragile little girl. Just running around, wreaking havoc, and just falling over when she gets hit. So
we've got the 5 kills in 5 minutes here for ReGen. I believe the record I had was something close to 40 kills. So we're in for about a 40-minute game here, talking.
Yeah, as long as ReGen stays on pace. Now, is that 40 kills on one team or total?
Oh, that was everyone. That was the whole. That was the whole lot.
Well, if the Fool's Gambit steps it up, we can get 9 kills a minute.
It's possible. I mean, we have to do the math to see what the kill timers or the death timers are, just because that's going to ramp down over time.
Right. Well, I was accounting for that in travel time. It's caster math. It's caster math.
Objective pushing onto this fort here. Not going to quite take it out. Luna on that hammer, making sure of that. Tracer's doing a little bit of split soak right now. As we see the Fool's Gambit cleaning up the lane and checking out this top camp. But here comes ReGen. They're ready to brawl once again.
Yeah, and Hogger is going hog wild on this camp. That's the name of the ability, so it's no longer a pun, unfortunately. And but doesn't quite get the siege, and it's going to go over to the Fool's Gambit instead, but Li Ming's going to die in the process. Porky tossing out the loot horde while Sharonda trying to run away. Lucio gets taken out as well as the Sergeant Hammer. Sharonda somehow staying alive. A 3 for camp. And I really don't think the Fool's Gambit likes the trade that they just took. That's another 4 kills, so ReGen can take a breath for another 2 minutes and stay on pace.
Stepped up the pace, 9 and 7. Epic player has been soaking the bottom lane this whole time, but Fool's Gambit are currently down 8 to 10 in levels. Hogger moving back to try to catch some of this soak. Oh my goodness, Flyest Raven breaking the pain as well as the wave. CZ Porky having to use that Hortipult to get to safety. Turns out moving through a double wave plus a camp gets you hit a little bit.
Yeah, the level 10s, the objective coming up, and there's a nice invade down here. And I don't know about invade, a nice catch on Porky. That's the first kill for the Fool's Gambit of this game, and might be the swing they need, a 5v4. They're down heroics though. This is a rough objective for the Fool's Gambit, and they're going to have to defend it. This might be sweep territory for ReGen with this objective, because these objectives push hard. It's only 8 minutes into the game, but they can push really well. I think Hammer has a good defense. That might have been a premature possibility, but with the health on this Immortal, that can be a really big shield, and it's in the aggressive position for ReGen to attack this.
Tens are here for the Fool's Gambit. It's like they're going to start coming across the map here. Flyest Raven got to be a little careful there. Going to be healed up by Kubiko, but look at the race. ReGen is almost done with this Immortal already. Good sleep onto Cattle, though. Has to use the D-Shield. Kubiko actually catching 3 with that hard style.
Oh, and 88
manages
health.
To escape. Cattle managing to escape as well. And there's 730 health on this Immortal. Hosty throws out the axes.
And the double axe from those early stacks. He just barely has U1 axe done. 30 out of 30. Because that is an infinite stacking quest. And so the twin cleave double spin going through.
Cattle's looking for D.Va here. The unstoppable from the high 5 though is going to be enough.
Oh, we did go high. Oh, I like high 5.
Having the unstoppable versus Tehran. Oh my goodness. By the way, Li Ming taken out by CC Porky. Hogger trying to spin away. The damage just too high though. Hashmer manages to get the carrion swarm off. Luna escaping as well. She's going to try to set up on the backside of this fort.
Yeah, I think high 5 is the way to go. They don't have the burst on ReGen really, so with the consistent damage, I think high 5 gives a lot better mobility, and the unstoppables for a lot of stun locking on the side of ReGen. The micro missiles good for poke and slow. I don't think you get a whole lot of value out of the bunny hop. Carry on Swarm, we saw that save Mal'Ganis' life. Lunar Blaze gets finished. Good pickup for Tyrande. Napalm Strike for the area control and a Wave of Force for what's her face.
Old Li Ming there, what's her face?
Yeah, that
Looks
one.
like we've got a chase here. Lucio is putting on the boost. Uh-oh, Kubiko may have gone too far. Lucio going to be taken out here. The recall from Tracer is good, as Luna trying to escape from Porky and Cattle. There's the Hortibolt to body block. Ming taken out in lane by the Zul'jin. Big stun onto Epic Player. Oh, but manages to get the bomb off. Hosty, oh my gosh, with 30 health, managing to survive, but D.Va is going to go down.
Yeah, I think we got our wish from the early game too.
Gosh,
they didn't really want to fight, and now they are, and we're getting a lot of bloodshed. I think, although I think the Fool's Gambit really isn't that out there. They're down by almost 2 levels. They pick up this 13. They get let's see, Li Ming gets more.
Chase is back on here.
More
oh my
damage.
goodness.
But they're coming back. They're turning it. They said,
They're
"Oh yeah,
coming
it's
down the
4v3
bottom
right
lane.
now." Hogger's top. Zul'jin's catching up to the group, and the Fool's Gambit says, "We are ready for this." Tyrande with the Owl coming in makes little baby Lucio wall riding like almost like a I don't know. Looks comical. Just gonna go with comical on that wall, and they get that fort. That's gonna be a little bit of pressure coming out in the lane that they do already have a fort down in, so that will put key pressure into ReGen.
Jen picking up on second camp here in the top lane. See if D.Va can clear that out before the Immortals come into play.
Yeah, the Fool's Gambit needs to force a mistake out of ReGen and then capitalize on it big.
Absolutely. Right now we've got a 4v4. Hogger in the bottom lane, D.Va in the top. Looks like Zul'jin is locking on though, but has to move back as Luna was starting to move up with that hover siege. Now Marlowe just looking for an angle in the top, and Cattle's going to engage here. Nice unstoppable onto Hashmer by Kubiko.
What's your opinion on hover siege versus growing range?
I mean, I think the hover siege is just a lot easier to use. The growing range is nice if you're against a team that absolutely can't dive you. But into a squad like this, I think the constant repositioning, especially into Tyrande, is a good idea.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. I like that. If only they weren't
axes
on
from
same
Hosty.
tier.
My goodness.
Yeah.
40 out of 30 on that quest, by the way. Lunar Blaze almost popping that D.Va mech, and Luna's caught in the axes again. Oh my goodness, look how much damage the hammer is taking just from one W of Hosty. And
Yeah,
now the Fool's
interested to
Gambit just has to
see-
back off.
Wrong place, wrong times at 16, right? Ooh, a nice Divine Shield coming out of the Uther onto Zul'jin. Zul'jin gonna go crazy on the Mal'Ganis. The D.Va Bomb catches, aggroes the camp, and that's about it. Porky scouting that Bruiser camp, and the Twin Cleave coming out. Just look at them turn. And 5v2 onto this camp. The Fool's Gambit needs to back out of it. D.Va gonna go down here as well, just not able to escape coming out of that mech. A nice second pickup for ReGen. Gonna get that Bruiser camp pushing, and halftime's been pushed in favor of the Fool's Gambit.
They did manage to get enough damage onto this Immortal. It's going to force ReGen to move on back and actually worry about this objective for a moment. But I just want to talk about, like, Hosty moving in seemingly alone into almost the entirety of the Fool's Gambit, but just relying on Cattle, relying on the back line there. Li Ming going to go down here as Hashmer going to be pushed out by the Lucio. Luna going down as well, and ReGen is just absolutely running this map. But
Yeah.
what I was saying though is, like, with Cascon and Cattle there, Hosty had no doubt that he could move on out there, throw out some damage, and be saved. That's a great team, and that's a lot of trust.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that's why we have Divine Shield. This game is to let Zul'jin do Zul'jin things the entire time, which he was doing during that fight. He was just going to town on that objective, and this Immortal pushing with the half shield. Hammer about to be up to maybe get some good defense on it, because if she can hold up behind this keep, I think she can wear down this Immortal without ReGen taking the keep, but it might be rough, especially with Taz Dingo up now.
Luna is sieged up, going to go ahead and start pecking away at this objective. Kubiko trying to keep everyone nice and mobile versus the squad from ReGen, but this keep already down to half health. Arlo into the backline is going to land the pulse bomb onto Kubiko, but this keep is gone. And this could be it here if there's a couple picks. D.Va gets the unstoppable and moves away. The objective is on the core here as Hashbur gets a big sleep onto the backline. Nice D-shield. Coming out onto the Tyrande, though. Carrion Swarm is going to keep the Mal'Ganis alive for now. Objective taking the core down to 70%.
I think
just pecking away on the outside.
If Zul'jin just looks at the core, he's good. He's got R. That he should just finish it.
Hogger on the backside trying to bounce out of trouble. Look at the angles. Oh no, going the wrong way.
Oh wow.
Porky's on a ride, moves right back into range. Porky was out. Li Ming gonna go down on the edge though. ReGen's not done. They're gonna try to move back into this core. Hosty pops the Taz Dingo.
That's
trying to get
trap,
Epic Player down. What a defense matrix though.
Yeah, that's the trap with Hogger. You want to just keep going until it stops instead of being like, all right, I'm out, let me go. I'm very surprised that Host
still alive here. Is gonna just trade into everybody.
Oh my goodness! I'm very surprised that Hosty didn't just waylay on the core. That core is only now that the shield's coming back has still less than 13,000 health. Could have easily laid that out.
It's Tracer Uther versus Lucio here. Ming is going to be up in 4 seconds, but the core is too damaged. The catapults are here. And I think that's going to be it here. ReGen with a clean 3-0. GG.
That is the sweep over to ReGen. Wow, congratulations. Coming off of 2 rough losses in this season so far. And I think that's definitely the pickup they needed. The Fool's Gambit, definitely a good showing. A sweep doesn't necessarily say a whole lot about either team compared to each other. Coin flips can go the same 3 times in a row. I think both teams played really well, played well into each other, played well around the drafts and their team comps, and played the maps pretty well. Just a couple fights go your way and that builds up momentum.
Very strong reactive drafting from both sides, to be sure. Looking for the angles, looking for advantages every place they could get. But ReGen just coming up big today in all 3 games. Congratulations to them, a very well-fought series. Any final thoughts on this score screen here, Taco?
On the stats, I mean, Zul'jin just kind of says it all. Tracer would have almost as much as Hammer, who was top of the Fool's Gambit, and then Zul'jin almost another half. I guess about half again. I guess that is another half. I was about to say almost double, and I'm having trouble with words today. I'm sorry. It's a good thing I'm doing something where I have to talk the whole time. But the Zul'jin's damage just nutty. But so enabled by Tyrande and Uther. And I think Hosty really needs to buy his support team a drink tonight because they set him up so well. Tracer able to get in there and do some cleanup, do some softening of the enemies, while Zul'jin's just sitting there going to town, right-clicking and then walking away for a little bit. Just really impressive cohesion coming out of ReGen. I like what the Fool's Gambit was going for. I don't think they were able to push through that oppressive Uther Tyrande combo. So
it was a tough one to be sure. Looks like we do have an interview opportunity with ReGen.
Ooh.
We want to jump on down there. I'm going to turn off the camera for just a moment. I'm going to take a look and see who's over there. Let's jump down to lobby 1.
All right. There's so many lobby 1s, I couldn't find it. It's like casting lobby? No. Coin flip lobby? Wait, where's the regular lobby?
Alrighty. We'll see if we can get a member of ReGen in here for a quick interview, and we do. We have Porky.
Hello.
Congratulations on the 3-0.
Thanks.
Quite the series there. Looking pretty strong in all 3 games, though the Garden of Terror was looking a little bit dicey in the early going. Was that in that situation when you've lost all of your forts, but the enemy team now has to get 3 more points to get the next objective? What's the kind of road back into the map from that point?
I think we just soaked and did the camps. I mean, it's a simple answer, but it's like what you're supposed to do on Garden of Terror at literally all points in the game. So we just soaked out of our minds, did all the camps, and we were up half a level by the time the objective ran around or came around.
It was,
And we got
I
a
think it was a
16,
good
15.
example to show, to be honest, because you see a lot of players, a lot of teams out there, you know, they're behind in structures, they're behind in, I mean, you guys weren't behind in levels, because like you said, you were soaking, you were getting the camps, but they feel like they've got to get onto the map and make something happen. But you just, you know, kept on soaking, kept taking the camps, found your 20s, and yeah, just turned that game right around. Very well done.
Thank you.
I think one of the biggest through lines I saw from the drafts tonight, from honestly both teams, but specifically ReGen, was double support in some manner. Is there really room for another style in, you know, in a competition level of Storm Division, or is it just that good right now?
What do you mean? Like another style of double support, or
Well, just like, you know, double tank, triple bruiser with only one support, or is just having that
triple
second
bruiser
support?
is definitely viable. I think it's just a question of whether everybody is comfortable playing those heroes and knowing the right situations to play it in.
Okay. 'Cause yeah, I mean the amount of save tools that we saw in your drafts today was impressive, and it showed in all those team fights. So you were able to take engagements, you know, recover from pick opportunities. It was really, really cool to watch. Any other thoughts, Taco, on the series?
Well, I was also thinking if you take Uther and Lily, that's double bruiser, double healer right there, and so you have 3 more to play with. So the set looked really clean. A lot of those fights looked like they were going the wrong way at first. I'm interested what comms sounded like when the Fool's Gambit got the engages on you. Best example, Dragonshire catching you at their siege camp, at your siege camp, I should say. And they got the ley line, the Deckard sleep, the APOC, just everything looked perfect on the engage. And then suddenly it was their health bars going away. Like, what were those fights like?
I want to say those fights were so first of all, like what we do in comms is usually we'll call out whoever we think we can focus, or Cattle will call out whoever we should focus.
Is Cattle a shot caller?
Well, Cattle's a shot caller in team fights, yeah, most of the time. So maybe he'll call out a target and then we re-engage on them. So we just knew that they couldn't kill all of us with the Leyline APOC because Lunara doesn't do that much damage. So we knew we were going to be able to survive and turn that fight. So we just I don't remember specifically who we killed first, but we turned the fight around and we're able to come back.
Yeah, and they looked really clean, but a lot of those fights just kind of, like, went that same way. When they start and you're getting the call, this is who we're going to focus. Is there like a moment of like, wow, they got this engaged, we need to disengage now? Or is it, you know what, our draft is able to fight even engaged on, so we're just going to fight it out?
I think it was more a problem of their draft. I don't think the Lunara is very threatening off the APOC combo, and we weren't worried really in the slightest about dying, honestly.
Yeah, I liked the damage. I didn't think they had that immediate kill threat that maybe would have changed that decision making. So that makes sense. And then the Hogger up against who? It was Sonya up in the top lane on Dragons still, right? No, you were playing Malthael, not Hogger.
Yeah, I was playing Malthael.
How does that fight? How does that off lane go? I tank play. I cast a lot. I don't get to see a whole lot of offlane. But I know Malthael and Sonya are some of the most popular offlaners right now. What's that experience like up there?
So basically, as the Malthael, I want to be clearing the waves as fast as I possibly can while having my mark on the Sonya while she's clearing her wave, so I get the damage in. And then when we're fighting on the shrine, I want to have my mark on the Sonya and try and kite her so she can't slam me off cooldown. So I basically just run around the shrine and keep my mark applied using my W and my E and
Just
eventually kill her.
Just doing the safety dance with her?
Yeah, basically.
All right. And then the last question I have for you, Porky. Describe your favorite taco.
I don't know.
Wrong already. I'm right here. All right, Crush, that's it for me.
Alrighty. I mean, I think the last game-related question I've got for Battlefield of Eternity, we saw Mal'Ganis get some changes last patch. We saw the Fool's Gambit bring it out in that last comp. Was that a threat on your side when it came to setting up for the fight, setting up for the kills that you wanted? Or was the Mal'Ganis more something to just move around when you were looking for your kill targets?
Honestly, Mal'Ganis was not an issue. Uther is a hard counter to Mal'Ganis. And I think I got a couple good stuns on the Mal'Ganis' Hogger as well, so he really wasn't an issue.
Okay, so still as vulnerable to stuns and interrupts as ever. Not really a whole lot changed there.
Just pick CC forehead.
Makes sense. All right, well, congratulations on the 3-0. You've got a couple more sets coming up here in Storm Division. I believe you've got One Direction, then Anti-Clown Association, if I do recall. ACA has been kind of middle of the pack, kind of running with everyone so far. Is there a particular opponent you're looking forward to? Any rivalries there? Any friendships there you're looking to get into? In
the ACA and One Direction matchups?
Yeah.
I played with with the ACA people in my first season of NGS, I think in season 7 or 8.
Okay.
I played with Kelsier, my pal Vince, and I forgot. Maybe the other person I was thinking of isn't on the roster right now, but I played with them. They're good friends of mine, and I'm looking forward to beating them.
Sounds good. I think that's your last regular season matchup is against ACA. I'm looking forward to that one for sure. But congratulations on today's 3-0. The floor is yours for any shoutouts you'd like to make.
Shoutouts to my team for putting up with me running it. I had way too much fun this series. I had like 4 deaths every game, so thanks a lot. Shoutouts to my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/GTPorky. I usually stream my NGS games, so if you want to watch me play while you're watching the casts, that'd be cool. Shoutouts to Fun's mom, of course, and twitch.tv/freepx. Yeah, I think that. Oh, and to anybody who's playing against us, Cattle will pick Uther every single time until it's banned against him. So you better ban it against him.
It was 3 straight Uthers basically in the first pick position this series, so I do not
free
doubt
scouting.
That.
I come into the match. Cattle says I'm picking Uther until they ban it.
So you're telling everyone this now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cattle just hates playing Uther, so
Oh, okay.
Oh dear.
And so is Uther the new best tank?
Well, I wouldn't say he hates playing it, but it wins games for sure.
It did tonight. That's to be sure. All
it's really fun de-shielding Hosty off cooldown.
That it is. All right. Well, Porky, thank you very much for joining us. Congrats again on the win, and good luck going forward.
Thanks. Later.
All right.
All
Give you a
right.
call back, Taco.
Have a good night, Porky.